Okay, top 3 workouts to run a half marathon. Okay, a half marathon is brilliant. The reason it's brilliant is, unlike a marathon where it takes you quite a long time to recover, get back into it quickly and start training again, with a half marathon, it's have a rest day the day after, especially if you're going all out, and then you can pretty much get into training straight away. I usually leave it 3 days after. If I'm going all out in a half marathon, it's an app for me. It's like an hour and 8 minutes, an hour and 9 minutes, as hard as I possibly can. Then I'll take a rest day the next day. Then I'll either go super light or go for a walk on the next day after. The next day after, I'll see how my body feels. But there will be some damage from that if you're going full on. There'll be some microfiber tears. Not a huge problem. That's what people in the gym are doing every single day. That's what you're doing on your interval sessions. But just take care of your body afterwards. But it's a great tester because it's literally an hour or an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it is you're aiming for, on your limit. Yeah, it's very difficult to pace a half marathon, but it makes it really fun because for me it's a way that you can learn to pace you're going faster than the marathon, but it's a great way to learn to pace the marathon. So what I would do in order to I'd get really fit first in order to get ready for this half marathon. Then I'd start to piece together some really specific half marathon training. So initially what I would do is 10 times 3 minutes. So for me, that would be like 10 times a kilometer, and I'd build up to that. So you've got to build up to that. So you're obviously going to be doing 21 kilometers or 13 miles. This session should be manageable for you at faster than half marathon pace. You'd have 60 seconds rest recovery in between. You can do this on a treadmill if it's the middle of the winter and you're training for a half marathon, or you can do this outside. I always suggest that you're going to be doing the half marathon probably on the tarmac. So I'd always suggest you do this on tarmac or asphalt, whichever part of the world you're in. And that, for me, if I start with 6 times 3 minutes, and then 8 times 3 minutes, then 10 times 3 minutes, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to run that 10% faster than half marathon pace. And what that means is, over the weeks, when I get better and better at that session, my heart rate, I'm able to get quickly into those. So I do a good warm up. All these sessions, you want a really good warm up. You want to start with a walk, gradually go into a jog, gradually get faster, then do some dynamic stretching, then get yourself into a position where you could do some strides. And then as you start to see that your body kind of come to life, then I would do 1 to 2 minutes at the pace that I want to do the first and second rep at, yeah? And you want to keep the reps, those 1 to 10 reps, you want to keep those at around about the same pace. So again, it's about pacing that session just as it's about pacing a half marathon. The goal in the half marathon, very similar to the marathon, is to do those splits, those 5K splits that you'll see, 4 5K splits and then a 1K split at the end. To basically, depending on the course, if the course is all flat, you want to be doing those splits at around about the same pace. So you want to be able to pace it really, really well. It's not about setting off too fast. It's about being in control of your body, making sure the glutes are engaged, making sure the hamstrings are engaged, and those are the muscle groups that are doing that the majority of the work. You're not up on your toes. You're not putting too much stress on your calves. And 10 times 3 minutes to work up to that, I know that I'm in really good shape to do a half marathon. Then I'll go shorter, and that will it'll increase my biomechanics, so it'll increase my abilities, the ability of my body to move over the ground faster. And I'd do some 500 meters. So I'd literally do 20 times 500 meters. And in my head, psychologically, I'm thinking, key session for most people is 20 times 400 meters. If I can do 25% extra per rep and do 20 times 500 meters, I've got the edge over my competition. Still gonna have 60 seconds rest in between, and I'm gonna see my heart rate fly from top level. I'm gonna be hitting probably top level, zone 4, zone 5 during that 500 meter rep. It's easy to look at like half a kilometer, so I'm running a kilometer pace and faster, and I'm doing 20 times 500 meters. So again, it's about pacing that session. It's about letting my heart rate fly down from top level to as low as I possibly can make it within those 60-second rests. And it's about controlling the session. It's about using the big muscles. You cannot escape using the big muscles. You're not going to be able to do the session just on your toes, just like you're not going to be able to run the marathon or the half marathon on your toes. You're going to need to land midfoot. That's going to be the most efficient way to move over the body and engage the glutes. Great session if you can move, and great session if you can get that right. Again, you're in great marathon and half marathon PB shape. And the way I'd progress up to that is to start with 8 or 10 or 12, wherever you're up to in your training. Progress on to 15, progress on to 18, and then 20. And that's a hard session. 20 times 400 meters is a hard session. 20 times 500 meters is even harder. And it's a difficult, again, like the 400 meters, it's a difficult distance to judge because you're on the limit for the whole way. But again, you're thinking about control, you're thinking about race pace. Are you moving faster than race pace? You want to be going like 10 to 15 to ideally 20% faster than race pace to be able to run these reps, recover well in between, and again, split it up like you split up the half marathon into 5K, 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 and then 1K. Split these 20 times 500 meters up in psychologically in your head. You're not having any extra rest, but split them up into fives, and that will make you feel like you're doing something along the lines of what you're about to do in a half marathon. Great session. Then what I do is I do something longer. I train the way I train for a marathon for a half marathon. And the reason I'll do that, because I'll be running faster, slightly faster than I do for the marathon. If I'm running a marathon in 2:21, I'm doing a half marathon in 1:08, 1:09, then I'm going to be going a little bit faster, but I'll do 5 times 10 minutes. Again, I'll build up to that. Start from 2 or 3 times 10 minutes, and 4 times 10 minutes, then 5 times 10 minutes. Obviously, those 10 minutes are slower than I'm doing the 500 meters, slower than I do the 400 meters, but you're able to get into that zone. You're able to do them at race pace. If you're able to do them at race pace, half marathon, or a little bit faster, you're in great shape in order to move over to half marathon. So if you're hitting those, and again, 60 seconds in rest in between, which is going to feel like a lot less compared to the 500 rep and then a 60-second rest, but you're putting yourself in a great position by getting that session, again, pacing it. So the warm up, super important. Get to the level where you can do. Want to keep the warm up concise. So you want to keep the warm up to the point where, okay, I'm running a half marathon. How many people are there? If it's Manchester Marathon or London half marathon or Great North Run half marathon, then there's going to be a lot of people on the start line. So how much of a warm up are you going to be able to do before getting in the line with the people who are running your pace in order to go forward? How long are you going to be standing still for? And what does that look like? So you want to be doing a little bit of a walk, again, slightly into a jog, and some dynamic stretching and some strides, then get into the pace that you're going to be running in the first rep. You don't want that first rep to be a shock. You want to gradually get into it, see that your heart rate is going up to the right level, see that your pacing's well, and then you're able to do 5 of them. If you can execute that session, you are in half marathon PB shape, no doubt at all. Those 3 sessions are absolute dynamite. So 10 times 3 minutes, great session. And if you're at top end, and if you're aiming for 10 times a kilometer, it's a great session. If you're aiming for 2 hours for the half marathon, it's a great session. 20 times 500 meters. Look at that like the half marathon. So be pacing it with all these sessions, be pacing it, be controlled, pushing off from the glutes and the hamstrings, making the big muscles do the work, and then your 5 times 10 minutes. And you can put those in any order you want. Like you might want to recruit all your fast twitch muscle fibers by doing your shorter reps first, your 20 times 500 meters, then gradually moving up to 3 minutes, depending on what's longer for you, and then move into the longer reps. Or you might want to start with lower speed first, so starting with 2 times 10 minutes, then 3 times 10 minutes, then 5 times 10 minutes, and then go into the faster stuff, the 3-minute reps or the 500 meter reps, depending on what you want to do. But those are 3 great sessions. Build those into later on in the workout. If you're going to do a specific 10 to 12 week workout, you want to be doing those in around about week 7, week 8, week 9, around any time between 5 and 10 weeks, depending on how fit you are and depending on how important this race is for you. But if you're going to go all out, if you're going to go for PB shape, great to do them in weeks 6 to 9. Good luck.